Oh, awesome. Well, I wanted to start off. I'm always very interested in what draws actors to a certain role. So, what was it about Collide that really stuck out at you?
For me, I hadn't seen the topic of apartheid and South Africa and the history of apartheid really brought into films a lot recently. It's a topic that I feel that I want to see discussed more in Hollywood. We talk a lot about, and I've done projects that focus on the Civil War and slavery and the history of being Black in America. But there has been racism and discrimination that has been happening on a global scale, specifically in South Africa for a very that has happened for a very long time. A lot of people don't necessarily have the awareness of it. So the idea of being able to play a character and through that character bring more awareness to apartheid and what so many people had to experience, especially for me personally, being biracial and having a Black father and a Caucasian mom, and what that meant for them in the 80s. Even though I'm not South African, they experienced racism as a couple. I think that there's a lot of really important kind of underlying reasons why I would want to do play a role like this.
So, did you know your character's backstory going into this, or did you find out when you read the script?
I was sent the script, and I was kind of given a overview of what it was, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds kind of interesting." And I knew more obviously from reading the whole script and from talking to Mukunda than not. So yeah, it's pretty wild. I didn't know the entirety of it until I read the script, and I was like, okay, these take a few turns, but it's fun. It's a great ride, and I've really enjoyed playing it for sure.
Absolutely. And then one thing that I thought was super cool about this film was how everybody's kind of strategically placed around this restaurant. You have a couple inside, you have a couple working there, and you have someone outside. Were there any challenges with the setting kind of just staying the same for you at that table? Was that difficult at all? Was it hard to get into character like that?
No, location and setting, and that wasn't hard. The hard part started to become, I can't give too much away, but when you start getting into the action scenes and camera placement and being able to show certain things happening and other characters seeing those things happen and points of views and over the shoulders and the complexity of those shots, I think were pretty difficult. But overall, I was fine, like sitting down and doing my work. It was hard enough.
Well, were you and the other actor able to play, you and Ryan, were you able to play off of each other well? Like, did you do any work beforehand to prepare, or did you just kind of?
Ryan was coming off of another film, so we didn't have much time in prep, but he's a beast. I always was a fan of his, even from like Cruel Intentions. I had been a fan of his work as an actor for a long time. But I think sometimes you take for granted how great actors are when you only see them on screen, because working with him and his level of focus, and he was on no sleep and had traveled in, and he was just like, but he was a beast. He was a total beast. He didn't miss a beat. He knew all the lines. We worked out so many of the moments, because a lot of them had to be pretty subtle, right? When you're stuck at a table, every little thing has to mean something, has to be purposeful. So every look that he gave, everything, he was just, he was always present. I didn't know what he was going to do next. So, and hopefully vice versa. He kept me on my toes.